In this video, I'm going to show you how to design your online store so it can be more effective at making you money. Hi, I'm Travis with Effective E-commerce, and one of the most important elements that's often overlooked in creating an e-commerce store is the design of the site itself. In this video, I'm going to give you 7 steps to help you make your website design as good as it possibly can be and help make it so people actually want to purchase things from your website. Not just look at how pretty it is, but actually purchase things. Number 5 on this list is probably, scientifically speaking, one of the most important things you can do to help create success. So stay tuned for that one. It's one of my favorites. Number 1, don't make me think. Now, this is a title of a book, but it's also just a great idea and a great concept when you're designing anything to do with your e-commerce store. Now, let me explain this for a second here. If you have the chance, I highly recommend reading the book. It's an amazing book, and it really talks about how to design stuff, how to design sites for conversions. Once again, not so they look pretty. And what the whole premise of Don't Make Me Think is, when people come to your website, if you make them think on how they need to purchase something, you make them think too much and try to figure too much stuff out, they're less likely to buy. The best and easiest way to make a conversion is to make it very easy for your customers. Let me explain this a little bit more. Does it pass the mom test? Can you give your website to your mom or someone that's pretty not very tech savvy, pretty tech illiterate, if you will? Can you give your website to them and can they make a purchase? If it's too confusing for your mom, for instance, then it's too confusing for your customers. This is one of the many, and I've probably had problems, every single design problem you can think of, but one of my biggest and earliest design problems was that my site was too confusing to purchase from. It's still not perfect, and it probably never will be perfect, but now my site is easy enough to use that people are likely to make purchases. They don't have to think, how do I do this now? And some ways to do this is make sure your add to cart button is above the fold. If people need to look at your product page and say, how do I buy this? They're probably just gonna leave. This is the reason why the candy is at the checkout line when you go to the grocery store, because they make it easy. Candy isn't one of those things that you go to the grocery store and say, you know what, you write it down ahead of time, I should buy some candy. But it's an impulse thing that if they make easy for you, you're gonna buy. That's how your website should be. So tip number one, don't make your customers think. Number 2, if you're unsure of the look and feel that your website should have, go to your competitor's website. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you're a relatively new e-commerce store and you probably have competitors. Actually, everyone watching this video has competitors that are doing things better than them. Unless you're Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, there's someone that's doing e-commerce better than you. So go to your competitors, see the colors that they use, see the feel they use. For me, when I was starting my store and I sell dance clothing for people that don't know, I went to other sites that were my competitors and tried to see, what is the feel that they're trying to give off? How do they design their website? Because if I can design my website similar to my competitors who have a lot more money to spend on testing than I do, it's already a validated idea. So that's step number 2 is look at your competitors, see what they're doing, and try to emulate it. Obviously, make it your own, but see what they're doing. Step number 3 is go to websites that your demographic generally shops at. So using my example, I knew I was looking for moms, probably 35 to 55, and I started thinking, what other kind of stores do they shop from? Things like Macy's, Victoria's Secret came to mind. So what I did is I went to their websites and tried to figure out, what are they doing? How can I incorporate the feel, the look, the design of their sites into my sites? And the good thing about this is they're not direct competitors, but my customers are the same customers that be shopping on these sites. And the real key thing to take away is a company like Macy's or Victoria's Secret has huge budgets. I will never have the same budget that Victoria's Secret or Macy's has. So they have a lot of money to split test, see what works, see what doesn't work. And I'm not saying to just copy one of their websites, but if you're new to e-commerce and you really have no idea and you don't have a big budget to spend on a designer, for instance, copy one of your competitors or one of a website that has the same demographic as you. Obviously make tweaks to make it your own, but that is step number 3. Look at other similar related websites to yours for your design. Step number 4 when you're thinking about design is make it personal. Don't make it one of these big box websites. So one of the problems when you're looking at a Macy's or a Victoria's Secret is they're not you. They don't have the same value proposition you do. They're trying to sell to the masses. What makes your site unique and why people are going to buy from you is because you're a person. You want to convey that message. You want to say that, hey, I'm an individual, I know a lot about this field, or whatever, but people like to buy from other people. We do buy from the Walmarts and the Amazons of the world because it's easier, but I know I personally would spend $1 more to buy from someone that I really like. And that's the key when you're designing your site, is to make sure that people like you, they feel a connection, more importantly, with you. And there's a bunch of different ways to do this, but one of them is in the About Us page. You want to make sure you have your image or a video about you. The other thing is have your phone number. There's a lot of different things that you can make it so it feels personal, but that's number 4. Step number 4, make it personal. Step number 5, and this is the step that I teased about in the beginning, and this is probably one of the most important things, and it is backed by science, that you can do to make sure you're successful, is just put something up and iterate. And this is one of my favorite quotes, and it's a quote I hear a lot in different forms. And to paraphrase it is, if you're not embarrassed by your first website design or the first iteration of a product or anything like that, if you're not embarrassed by your first website design, then you waited too long. So get something up and constantly improve. One of the number one success factors they've been able to correlate with success is speed of implementation. People that sit back and think about things for too long are at a disadvantage. There's obviously a time and a place for that, but I'd recommend just get something up, see what it looks like, and fix as you go. You don't need to spend hundreds of hours trying to make it perfect from the get-go. Just get something up. Now, if you are one of those perfectionist type and you have a little bit bigger of a budget, go to Upwork or 99 Designs and hire a graphic designer. Truth is, I can do a lot of the graphic design work for my own website, but I'm not the best at it. That's not where my real value lies. So it's not a bad idea sometimes to outsource those tasks. And if you have a lot more money than you have time, Upwork or 99 Designs is a good place to start. And you get links to both those up here or down below in the show notes. So that's step number 6, outsource it. Step number 7 is to optimize for conversions, not to look pretty. And this is a mistake I see over and over again. If you go to my website, bedancer.com, it's not the prettiest website. There is some things that I know I need to improve, but let me tell you something. It converts like crazy. My conversion rate is 4 to 5%. Standard industry, a good conversion rate is 1 to 3%. If 3% meaning you're doing really well, my conversion rate is 4 to 5%. So make sure that your site is built for conversions, not to look pretty. And in fact, sometimes really pretty sites don't convert well. I've known a lot of people that spend upwards of $50,000 trying to make a good looking site. And what happened? Their old bad looking site converted better. I get told all the time by, we'll call them friends, and they say, your site isn't really that pretty. Have you thought about hiring a graphic designer? And what I'm able to do every time to shut them up, if they know what they're talking about, is I show them my conversion numbers and they tend to back off. So keep that in mind. Your site is 100% built to make sales. Don't worry too much about how pretty it looks. Make it easy to use and make it so people want to buy from you. Every Tuesday, I release new e-commerce tips and tricks videos. The goal of these Tuesday tips and tricks videos is to help your e-commerce store be more effective at making you money. Make sure you click the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed so you can get these videos delivered to your YouTube account every week and you can stay ahead of the marketing trends. And if you're looking to start or grow your e-commerce business, you can click up here or down below to get access to my free e-commerce success pack, which includes checklist for making sure that your e-commerce store is optimized as it can be to help make you money. It's also going to include marketing ideas, access to the free monthly webinar we do on, basically it's a live event where we do like Q&A type stuff. Thanks guys, and don't forget we have new tips and tricks videos every Tuesday, new e-commerce news videos every Monday, and Wednesdays I have Q&A videos for you. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below.